All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Monday. Risk It for the Biscuit podcast, episode 13. We are back. We are at it. Um, Excuse my voice a little bit. I got feeling a little cold coming on, but we're still here. We are still at it, getting after it. I hope you guys had a fantastic last week. And yeah, man, I'm excited for episode 13. And I think it's going to be fun. The more I do this, I'm like, man, why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? Because I just feel like these episodes kind of suck. You know what I mean? But I made a commitment, so we're going to keep chugging along. And I just know that at some point it's going to shift and we'll be better. I promise that. But anyway, last week I spent some time in San Diego for a friend's bachelor party, and it was my first time in California. Um, it was very interesting. It was a cool experience. I had a good time with the boys, um, and of course, I could talk about that forever. Um, but I kind of wanted to mention just a little about San Diego. It was very interesting. The weather was kind of, I would say, eh, you know. Whenever when people talk about San Diego, I heard stories about San Diego. It was always about the weather, the weather, the weather. But we kind of had some bad luck with that. It was just cold, like not very sunny, kind of not what I expected, but it was still a good time. I was impressed with San Diego. You know, you hear stories and on the news just following along about California and whatnot, but San Diego is actually pretty good for the most part. Looked pretty clean and just felt pretty safe for the most part. So it was cool. I definitely think I'd like to go back with some good weather. Um, but no, it was cool. It was cool. We did some stuff. There was a lot of good food. Um, we went to a Padres game, so that was cool. It was like I'm pretty sure it's like a historic ballpark, if I recall correctly. But it was cool. Um, I thought it was very interesting, just the layout of San Diego. I didn't realize that there was a little Italy there. Um, I don't understand. I mean, I get it because I get the Mexican influence on San Diego because it's right there, and it used to be part of Mexico back in the day, way way back. Um, so I get that, but I just didn't. I was kind of surprised to see that little Italy aspect, like that culture, little pocket there. But it was really cool. A lot of like little pizza shops and coffee shops and all that there. So that was pretty interesting. Um, and yeah, man, it was pretty sick. I also didn't realize that it was I guess realize, but just like the military presence there. Like there's a bunch of Navy bases there and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. Um, we were playing volleyball on the beach, and there's literally just like huge planes, flying right over us, very very low because the landing strip was just down the beach, and it was pretty sick, man. To see like those huge planes of different sizes and whatnot, and there was helicopters and everything, and just all that military stuff there. It was very very cool to see that, and I'm pretty sure. I think what's his face? I think David Goggins. That's where he kind of did his training and stuff. It was in San Diego. I don't know why that just didn't click, but being there, it was pretty cool. Um, it was also interesting when I got picked up by the Uber. There was we went on this bridge, and it was very interesting just to talk to the guy. He was an older gentleman, and he was talking about, I think he lived in San Diego. He was from Mexico, lived in San Diego for like 25 years or something like that. And it was just telling me, a little about history and stuff like that. And he explained to me, that there's an old town and a new town, like the new town being the San Diego downtown, and then there's an older part of town which is kind of goes back to when it was in Mexico and all that. And I believe like the United States, whenever they I don't know how California. I don't remember if it was like purchased or if there was a war fought there. But anyway, when like the Americans came in, they said, "Hey, let's move the downtown to the Bay." And so then it was kind of split, New Town and Old Town. And he just told me about like there's a lot of good restaurants over there, whatever, whatever. And we went on this bridge, and he was saying that if you look or when you drive on the bridge, you'll notice that it's like curved. It starts off as a curve and then goes straight. And he says the reason they did that was because the city of San Diego wanted the state to build that bridge. Um, they like kind of requested it from the state, but if they would have built it straight across, it was only 1.8 miles, and the state wouldn't build it. Um, but if it was 2 miles, then the state would fund it and build it or whatever. So what they did was they curved it in order to make it 2 miles. I think it's like 2.1 officially. That's just like a random, I guess, fact, but I didn't know that. I just thought that was kind of interesting. Um, I always like find those little facts like that kind of cool. But anyway, um, so yeah, man, that was uh, that was San Diego, and it was cool. I definitely would like to go back at some point, um, and when there's a little bit warmer weather, because I mean I believe it. I believe that it's nice. I just want to check it out a little later. Um, but anyway, yeah. So now I'm back, and it's Monday, and we officially have 2 weeks left of school, which is wild. When I started doing these episodes and stuff, um, man, that's like 3 months. Yeah, it's episode 13. So I've been doing this for 3 months. And, I feel like I talk about, oh, I have this much school left, this much school left. But honestly, I'm just so excited to finish up. And I don't know if anyone's ever going to watch these episodes, but I think at some point I'll look back, or maybe my kids or something, and we'll be able to kind of just see what I was thinking, how I was feeling. And in this specific moment, it's kind of weird to put into words how excited I am to be done. And it's like very weird um, at the same time, because I'm excited to be done, but it's like, man, being a student, that's all I've been, my whole like upbringing, from elementary, middle, high school, college. I didn't take a break, never took a semester off. It's just been nonstop learning, 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 school, 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 school. And so I'm excited. I'm excited, but at the same time, I am cautious. I want to be very aware and intentional in these next 2 weeks. One, of course, to finish strong. Most of my classes, I feel like I'm pretty good in terms of like grade standings. I shouldn't fail. There is like I think one class that I really need to just study to finish in order to finish out strong and whatnot. So that's the first thing. Cautious and just aware. But the second aspect of it is, I mean, if you know me, if you don't, I grew up playing basketball. And I think I started playing, I want to say first grade, so elementary school. And I want to say over 10 years. I played over 10 years of basketball, like on a team, travel ball, school ball, all that. And that's all I really ever knew was playing basketball. And then I quit from my sophomore year going into my junior year. I don't know if I ever told that story, but anyway, I can maybe tell that later. I quit basketball, and I thought that, I'll just kind of do something else. Like it would be easy, and I could just, I got all this free time and whatever. I can just do and whatever I want, right? Like anything I find interesting, anything I want to put my time towards to, or I've wanted to put my time towards to. Now that I have this free time, I'm just gonna go and do it. And in my mind, it was just like it was simple. But what happened was I quit, and I didn't know what to do. I did have a lot of free time, but it wasn't filled with good stuff. Um, of course, I was in a bad place mentally, um, and I was young, and so it was a struggle. I'm saying all this. Whenever you've been doing something for a long time, then that kind of comes to an end. I think it's important to feel that, to find things to fill that with, good things, positive things, and whatnot. Um, so that's what I'm kind of cautious of, or I'm trying to focus on and pay attention, um, in order to kind of not get lazy, or not to do, not to kind of just kind of do empty, pointless things right after, because that's now, like, yeah, I'm excited, to not have school, but it's got to be replaced with something else for sure. And of course, I like to learn just on my own, read and stuff like that. So that's one thing I'm hoping to be able to do more of, is read books and things like that. And obviously, kind of do more ministry wise. I'm gonna have a lot of time freed up, so that's definitely a goal of mine, is to just be more involved there. Um, I have been involved, but of course, I want to do more. And so that's one thing. Um, but I just think it's something good to keep in mind, And I do have like a month little buffer period before the job that I got starts. Um, so, you know, I'll have May to kind of get focused and all that. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's very interesting. And man, just 2 weeks. That's it. 2 weeks. I don't know what it's like to not have a due date, or for like an assignment, or what it's like to not have to study for a test or do homework. And I am very, very excited. But I also think it's gonna help the podcast be better. I think it's gonna help me put some more focus and attention on this. That's the plan. That's also kind of why I started doing this. Although the production and the content as a quality as a whole has obviously not been, but now it's episode 13. So versus graduating and being like, oh, I should start a podcast, I should, blah blah blah, and starting from one after graduation. Now at graduation, I'm going to be 15 episodes in, and I'm going to know, these little things, and it's just going to be forward. And so I am definitely excited for that part. And I'm just feeling good today. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I was away and not really paying attention to much of things, like news wise and all that. But I just feel good today. I feel good. And there was one thing I noticed from the news, and I wanted to kind of touch on from last week. I wrote, like I said, I was traveling and hanging with the boys, so I didn't really, look into news that much. But I did see there's the stuff going on in Sudan. And as I opened the Wall Street Journal today, I noticed there was another article on it. And just like the chaos that's going on, I'll just read the title and the part of the article here. Sudanese shelter in fear as generals battle for power. Jet fighters and military helicopters roared in the skies above the capital, and residents sheltered at home from gunfire and explosions as a lethal power battle dragged into a third day. And just seeing that, I of course I saw it last week just a little bit. I didn't read into it, but I just saw the headlines and being in San Diego, in the military, around the military base and all that. It just really made me thankful, and the more I kind of digest this content and consume content from around the world, obviously being from Ukraine, and the more I get older, Um, I really find myself grateful to be in America. And I really think it is a good message to be to push and to be proud to be from America. Not only to be proud, but to be thankful to be from America. And that's something that I think as I move forward with the podcast, um, and just move forward, in my adult life, I think that's a message um, that I would like to kind of be a part of spreading, I would say. Um, it's just to be grateful to live in the country you live in. You look around the world and like just like in Sudan, man. Like imagine, there's just a military power, like there's a military conflict within the government, you're just living your normal life and then all of a sudden there's bombing and helicopters flying around and just chaos. And in America, I haven't seen that. Of course, there's a lot of things, in decline here as well. But I think if we get back to the things that kind of helped build this country, I think there's still hope. And it was interesting. This is another topic I was going to I didn't mean to segue into it this way, but there's a great interview by Pastor Vlad Savchuk, and he did an interview with Jonathan Cahn, and he wrote a book called Return of the Gods, and Jonathan Cahn did, and it was very interesting. Just a breakdown of how the things that we're seeing in our world and in America today, right? You look at it, it's like, how is this happening? Like how? Like just like the gender dysphoria, the immorality, the chaos, and he breaks it down how it's spiritual things, and how pretty much in America there's like historical points in time where we kind of got away from the way God designed things, parallel to the same way how when the Israelites would um, get away from the things of God, and how those things line up, and he kind of shows the results of it, and that's kind of where we are today. Um, Obviously, I'm not going to do as good of a job explaining it, so I would encourage you to go watch it for yourself. But it's just very interesting, and of course, I'm in ministry, serve a church, and preach this stuff as well. And I think the most important message is the gospel. And I think it can go parallel, right? We can preach the gospel and spread that message, and as well spread the message of being grateful. And I think it goes together. Because I watched, I think it was Charlie Kirk on Patrick Bet David, just listening to what he does, his work, his organization, and it was just something that I kind of found interesting, and kind of the work that they do. I forgot what is it Turning Point USA, or there's some sort of organization. I forget the name of his organization. Actually, let me just look it up. I have a computer. Let's see here. Turning Point. Oh, yeah, it's Turning Point USA. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't even know that's what that was. Wow. Turning Point USA is an American nonprofit organization that advocates for conservative politics on high school, college, university campuses. Bum, 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 bum. Turning Point Faith. There was, wait, I wanted to see, according to... Recruit pastors and other church leaders. Wait, let me see what this says. I didn't know this. Okay. Ooh, I didn't know this. Wow. Turning Point Faith. 2021, Charlie Kirk founded Turning Point Faith, an organization that says it is dedicated to recruit pastors and other church leaders to be active in local and national political issues. Wow. That's interesting. I did not know that. But I find that interesting. That's something that I think that I'd be interested in because, hear me out. Like, we see all these things going on, right? We see all these like agendas and all these things being pushed and all that. And it's concerning. It's kind of scary at times. But then I ask myself, is there something that can be done? And if there is something that can be done, I would like to be a part of it. I can't stand when people just point out problems but don't offer solutions. I can't stand it. I feel like, especially in America, we have the freedom to do things about the stuff that we believe in. We have the opportunity to make a difference, to see things change. And so, yeah, I think we need, we need more God-fearing people in things like politics. We need more God-fearing voices, making decisions about laws. I feel like, the argument, separation, right? Blah, blah, blah. But I just think if you look at the history, it's pretty evident that a lot of the building blocks for America were based on Christianity. We're based on having faith in God. And when you see when the foundation's laid and such a successful country is built on it, and then you gain so much success, but then a generation comes in and says, okay, we're so successful and mighty now, and we don't need these things that our country was built on, and you try to remove that. Well, it's just not how it works. It won't work like that. I think we need more people to be standing for those initial values that this country was built on. And my whole thing, it's always to hear both sides. So I've always been, for like the longest time now, I've been kind of hesitant to really take a stance. Not because it's like I'm unsure of where I stand, but just because I like to hear both sides. I think that has more value in hearing each other out. But the more I kind of read, the more I observe, I'm definitely leaning more towards taking a stand, like not taking a stand, but promoting that message. America is a good place. It was built on good values. We can't move away from those values. I'm strongly finding myself leaning that way. And this all started, I kind of go down rambling rabbit holes, but you look at other places around the world, man. There's no place on earth that compares to America. Are there problems? 100%. Are there things that we could be better at? Absolutely. But as a whole, America is awesome. And I just wish that young people my age, would appreciate that. Like, you don't understand. You just don't understand what it could be like. It frustrates me too. It seems like our politicians don't understand either, with all these alliances going on around the world, and we're worried about completely irrelevant things to that. Like, there's another article here. What's the guy? There was a Russian dude. He got sentenced to 25 years in jail. Oh, here it is. Russian court sentences Putin critic to 25 years. So he critiqued Putin, got 25 years. Okay. And in this country, we have people that are ungrateful for this country, and they critique it. But imagine if you were to critique the country, you were to critique the current regime, and you just go to jail. And you go to jail for 25 years. It's crazy because people don't realize that the only reason you're even able to voice or to have an opinion or to be disgruntled, to be unhappy with the current government, and you're allowed to say these things, you're allowed to post it on the internet, is because of the values that America has. You got to be grateful for that, man. There's no other place on earth like it. Like, it can't be, That's my, recently, I don't know why, but that's just like my things that have been on my brain, is to be grateful, and is to tell people that America is still good, that you should be grateful, that you shouldn't tear down America. You should be proud. That American flag, you should be proud of it. You should be proud of it. I didn't realize how much flags mean until the war in Ukraine started. The war in Ukraine kind of changed a lot of things from my perspective. I was always thankful for military service members. My appreciation changed when the war started. I became a lot more appreciative. Seeing, dudes my age in Ukraine and seeing service members here in America. Thank you for your service. You see, when it hits home close to you, because I don't have anyone here that's in the military. But when you see that going on, same thing with flags. Of course, I always appreciate the American flag. I think the American flag is the standard. I think it's, awesome. But, until you see people, what that flag means for people. When a territory was under Russian occupation, and then you see the Ukrainian army pull up and put the Ukrainian flag on there, and when people see that, what that means, how that encourages them and inspires them, and what that means. It made me appreciate the American flag a lot more when I look at it, what that represents. It really kind of. So I just wish people would be appreciative of that, and yeah. But anyway, I still feel like these episodes suck. And I'm just rambling, but we're close. We're close to graduating. We're close to having my brother, and I think that's going to be fun, and it's going to get better. And I'm excited for that. Big week here. School-wise, we also have the Tank Davis fight, Ryan Garcia. I'm excited for that as well. What else? I think we have, voluntary camp starting for NFL this week, NBA playoffs, baseball's in full swing. So, yeah, sports are cool. Sports are back, and that's good too. It's exciting. And, man, just got to finish out these last 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Last 2 weeks of school. And I'll be sharing my thoughts. Let me graduate, and I will give you a full breakdown, full layout, my opinion on school. and things like that. But I think we're going to call it a day. And I hope you guys have an awesome week. And see y'all next Monday for the next episode. Peace.